Good evening and using welcome to think about it using common sense. That goes to show you what happens when you're not around for a long time. I've been missing in action. I've been busy doing other things, but I today is not a normal day for me. But any day for um, wisdom or knowledge or just some good conversation is okay. There's so much been going on. A lot has been going on. A lot. Excuse me. So sorry. Um, a lot has been going on, and I just was compelled to come out and just talk about it, use some common sense about what's going on. Boris Johnson over in the UK resigned his leadership position. President of China assassinated. Um, and still, here in this country, people are refusing to accept uh, President Biden as a legitimate ruler, president of this country. For what reason? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even register as uh, having common sense when it comes to just standing up for what's right and standing up for and representing the position that you took as an elected official. And some of these elected officials, based on their behavior, it's disgusting. And they wouldn't be, I'm using common sense now, and I think we all need to just stop this. I'm not talking about any particular race of people. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the actions of people and what they are doing. For every action, there's a reaction. And for these people to be elected to a position in the American government to serve the people and to say the things that they're saying and to deny the truth, to deny our own governmental election process for their own personal agenda. It's just damn right uh, irresponsible. It's damn right not even being an American. And we have people, these people that's acting this way, they don't realize, or maybe they do realize, and I think they do, that their behavior is inciting people to act that way, to act violently or whatever, however way their personality is projecting or however they are presenting themselves. Because let's not forget, it was people that voted them into office. And these are the people that they are dancing to. They are dancing to the music of their uh, 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 constituents who put them into office. And this is what's terrible. And the thing about this is, people don't, this is not a way for this country to move forward. And to me, people need to start. I'm tired of even saying how people need to start doing this because apparently people just don't know. They just out of touch with reality. They're being led around. They've been led to slaughter like you do some innocent animals. Because you don't even know any better. Then you're going to arm everybody with guns. I have yet to hear anybody talk about taking away gun rights from anyone. But yet, every time they talk about guns, oh, nobody's going to take away our guns. People, nobody's coming after your guns. I'm a gun owner. But you have to have rules and regulations if you're going to make it easy, accessible for young people and people in general to get these automatic weapons and military grade weapons and don't have background checks or a mental aptitude test to get these high powered rifles. And now you're seeing all this killing and going on out here today, and you excited, not excited, but you kind of bewildered. You don't know, well, what's the problem? Well, you have a lot of frustrated people under pressure, not only due to uh, inflation, but you got people under pressure seeing how these rich people go out here commit crimes that and walk away from, do no time in jail, do nothing for, and yet you have family members and you yourself have been incarcerated and have family members who've been killed for less. This builds up anger in people. And so when you have a justice system that's one-sided, how do you expect people to feel when you have, for an example, here's a man, and I understand this, look, and trigger happy. All this is coming into under play of what's going on today. Now, I just heard on the news, we went through all this stuff, all this demonstration and protesting and just a whole lot of unnecessary stuff where it was necessary in a sense, but it was because of an officer killed, put his knee and killed a, Afro American for no reason, and other police officers stood by and watched while this happened. Okay, and the officer that killed George Floyd, um, he was found guilty. Now the world saw this. Now I'm thinking, you would think after this and all the demonstrations and protests that people, all the people got together, they saw it. For the first time, I think they actually really saw how brutal things can be. And so I'm feeling that there's a change. A change is coming. People on both sides of the aisle is realizing, you know what, we have to take, we just gotta be careful. We just have to try and ease things, not be so trigger happy, and not only that, you have some respect for the police, reestablish it. But then the other day, I hear a man was running. He had a gun in the car now. He's out of his car running. Got shot 60 times. 90 shots was fired at this man. 60 bullets entered into this man's body. I couldn't believe it. The man was running. Like he said, and prior to that, there was a man that uh, killed, targeting people, sniper, killing people. I think he killed 7, 8, or 9 of them. And he's put so many in the hospital. This man was arrested with not a scratch on him. And I don't know if color had anything to do with it, but I mean, we both can surmise what the outcome was or why it was the way it was. Who knows? I'm not saying. But anyway, this mess has to stop. We are humans, are supposed to be of superior intelligence. We are like animals. And this is something that, with all the so called intelligent people, they have all the money, all the benefits, poor, blacks, whites, fight the wars, or have been fighting the wars, family members who've lost sons, daughters, husbands, wives, in prior wars, get no benefit. After I see them standing, I see veterans out in the corner with signs and cups saying help, need money. And I'm not against helping people in other countries. I'm not against that. Don't be sending billions and billions of dollars, not just to Ukraine, but we spent a lot of billions and billions of dollars here on a jet plane, on a bomber that we may not even need. Put some money in these veterans, fix these people up. Don't just give them a few dollars just to say uh, you've given them something, but it's not enough to do anything with. They was out fighting a war while the rich was at home making money. And making money off the war. And these people are frustrated. These people are depressed. So they're powder kegs. And now you're making it easy for all these people to walk around with guns. Now you're surprised where there's so much violence. You even bump into somebody wrong. First thing they do is grab the gun. Hit, we hit the gun like back in the old days in the West. Everybody wearing guns on their hip now. Just killing, shooting. You need to have a test because there's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure and it's a powder keg out here. I mean, police officers shooting someone like that. I mean, they live on the police office, the way the violence is portrayed and is on the news every night. I mean, quite natural. They're not going to sit back. Some of them, they should be trained, but they don't know. They have their lives, their families. They're going to say, hey, look, I'm first. My family comes first. They're going to shoot first. And we'll figure it out later. This is the world we're living in. This is the environment. Then when you have politicians, you see our politicians, and you see what's happening in these hearings, this January 6th committee, the stuff that's said and is being done, and the truth that's being made manifest to the people today, anybody else other than Trump and his people would be in jail right now, be locked up, facing a life sentence. Telling you the truth. I'm not sitting up here just downing Trump. I would say the same thing about anybody that's doing this. It's not like a pick and choosing. If you play a hand, then you have to fold if you lose. And this is doing nothing but destroying America. This is destroying what America is supposed to be about, destroying our Constitution, destroying our democracy, destroying our rules of law. And now that infected the Supreme Court. And just like it's strange, but it's just like now that the Supreme Court has been infected with lack of integrity, with the lack of truth, the lack of honor among judges. I guess that type of attitude or that type of energy out there done started a new. There's a new coronavirus. New coronavirus is more deadly than the first one. They say this thing will infect you with vaccines or no vaccines or masks or no masks. This thing will come and get you. A new coronavirus, more infectious than the first one, is on the rise. This is crazy. It's inflation. See, and that's another thing too. So when you have all these companies, and it's the people's fault, and it's the politicians. I blame the politicians for a lot of this because the politicians have sold the American people down the drain, and the American people are too stupid to see it and keep voting these same people back in office. And they're the reason. Joe Biden. Ever since Joe Biden put somebody up for y'all to believe, oh, Joe Biden this, Joe Biden ain't Joe Biden. It's these politicians and sold out. You got one or two people owns all the food, manufacturing all the food. You done got rid of all the mom and pop stores in the community. You got one or two people manufacturing all this, manufacturing that. Where these people say, hey, look, we ain't producing no more. Or we gonna give you all this and this and that. You ain't got no choice but to take it. You have nowhere else to go. There ain't no mom and pop stores on the corner no more. Few. They can look out for their people when times start getting tighter, because they already done got tight. When they start getting tighter, you got to have that your business person in the food business. You got to have that card to go buy the food, go to the wholesale to get the food. These people gonna make money. They can sell that stuff for whatever they want to sell it for. And the food that they're getting, I haven't seen a decent orange in the supermarket in over a year, 2 years. Only way you see a decent orange or some decent fruit in the supermarkets, you got to go to a different neighborhood. And it's time for people to wake up and stop walking around here like everything is okay. It's going to be okay. It's not. It's getting worse every day. You know, and they building. People are building in the inner cities. I have never seen such development, apartments being built in these inner cities, especially around the colleges. Never. They're building them for a reason. Real estate's going up for a reason. And if you don't have any money, people, you're not going to move in. And this real estate is just a new way of segregation. For real, for real. Let's take the cap off of it. Okay. Moving to an area, you got to be making a certain amount of money. You got to have a certain uh, credit credit level of credit. Otherwise, you're not moving in. And then you have to pay uh, 3, 4 month security. Depends on who you are. Depends on what the renter wants to charge you. Because if you don't own anything, you don't have a choice. You don't have a say so in anything. And the thing about it is, you don't stick together. You don't work together. You don't try and build nothing. Or a few may do, but the little bit you're doing is not even worth talking about. And I'm tired of talking about these rich, super rich people that have money that can do something, don't do anything. The little bit they do is not even worth talking about. Nah. And at the end of the day, it's about survival. It's about people surviving. Because if you don't, you're going to starve. That's the reality of it. It's not going to be sugar coated. That's the reality of it. You know, you don't have some of the best parts of the city. It's been lost and it's continued to be lost. No development corporations, nothing, none of that. None. And these prices, these price gouging, just doesn't make sense. But when you don't own anything, you subject yourself to these types of price gouging. You put yourself in a situation for this to happen to you. And it shouldn't. I heard on the news, the state of Kentucky. I think Kentucky is Mitch McConnell's state, if I'm not mistaken. They said 90%. It was either 90 or 95% of the people in Kentucky are on welfare. It's a welfare state. A lot of these states gets welfare, and we don't even you don't even hear about it. When you think about welfare, you think about people of color. That's how they have it projected. It's not so. Welfare wasn't created for black people. But it shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't be about black or about white. It should be about people, and we surviving because we all gonna have to live together and do this thing together because it's not about black and white. It's about rich and poor. It's about the haves and the have-nots. But see, as long as we sit here fighting against one another and with all this, whoever these type uh, racist organizations are, it's not even about that. You're playing right into the hands of the people that want you to play. Because at the end of the day, they don't even count. They don't. So it's really pathetic how things are happening. People got to wake up. You vote these people in, and then you complain when they be stepping on your toes. It's time to come to grips with the election and time to realize we've been played. We're being played. We're being played against one another. This civilization, this economy, America, America, this country is falling. You're gonna wake up one day and America is not going to be America. We're losing it because even in America, if you don't have any money, you're in bad shape. I mean, sure you can. Uh, some people, they'll come by and give you some food, but that's just to keep you alive so you can suffer. You have to do things for yourselves. You have to learn. Sometimes you're gonna have to do without. But I knew it was gonna be bad a long time ago when people start uh, getting rid of these mom and pop stores and uh, start relying only on these rich and the big corporations to furnish all that stuff for them. Now they in control. They want to charge you $20 for a loaf of bread, and you hungry. That's the only thing you eat. You have to eat. You know what? You pay $20 for that loaf of bread and be glad to do it. That's why you people, you have to think. It's not about just color, man. It's about all of us trying to work together. And with all this money, it's no reason why people all over the world are starving, fighting, killing each other. Why? Why? Just ask yourself why. Or the rich, or the educated, the people that have something, have a decent place to live, food, not hungry, a roof over their heads, toilet. Are they out here that's being treated fairly? Are these the people that's out here that's rebelling? No, they're not. It's the people out here that you're starving. It's the people out here who've been tricked. It's the people out here who've been being treated worse than animals. No respect, being abused, work and for a wage that cannot even sustain the basic needs in life. Then you want to complain. And these people react. And yet, you sitting up on a hill, multi-billionaire, and don't even want to turn loose any of the money. You got 50 billion. So I guess you couldn't live on 30 billion and let people live, let people have the basic necessities of life. And then Roe v. Wade, that done came out and did a flip, major flip on women's rights. And the thing is that regardless, the government should not tell women what they can or cannot do with their bodies. You understand? This is bigger than Roe v. Wade because there's certain instances that requires women to make uh, harsh decisions I myself would not want to be in a position I would not want to make, but they have to make them. But it's their choice. It's their choice, not the government's choice. And I don't know, for the life of me, I don't know why anybody can't see that. And whatever else, it's between the woman and her God and her whatever and her choice to do her choice over her body, not the government to have. And that's something that should not government should not have intercede and stepped into. It's just not there. It's not their place. And then, from what I understand, there were judges who said they would not vote to overturn it. From what I hear, those judges voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. So, how supreme can you be when you don't stand for your word? And I don't even. I mean, then now you have a justice's wife being called and committed to testify. Man, this is some deep stuff. Excuse me. And all this is going to come back to play on all the Americans, all of us. When in nature, when a hurricane comes, doesn't pick and choose. What your foundation does determine whether you stand or not. People, we need to get real. And I keep saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. Every time I pick the news, I turn on the news, it's something different. A human life means nothing today. Means nothing. And it boggles my mind because the way people respond to things, a human life doesn't mean anything, but yet it is everything. You know? You have a millionaire, a billionaire, they have all the wealth, but they don't want to give anything to help anybody or to build things that can help people. But if they get sick of something like that, they get the best doctors. They don't want to leave this world. They give all the money. They just give them billions and billions just to keep them alive. So life is very, very, very important. That's the point that I'm making. And it needs to be treated as such. But I'm finding out people have been filled with so much BS, filled with so much negativity, filled with so much TVs, reality shows, and all this garbage, a lot of it, that their mind is gone. They have lost the ability to think. And things that's important like the arts, mathematics, science, important things in life, mental development, mental health. These things are gone. Nobody cares. Only thing they care about because if you have uh, knowledge, proper knowledge, I'd say, of what's important and what's not important, how to sustain yourself and be healthy and value your life and spirituality, you would not be spending all this money. Money would not be your main objective. You would be your main objective. But see, the thing about it is we have this economy. This economy, excuse me, this economy have developed, flourished under people being ignorant. Excuse my nose itch. By people being ignorant, spending money on everything, getting charged. And that's how these people be making all this money. And that's why you have nothing. You don't have money by just spending all the time. What I'm saying? Now I'm not this is America, okay? And there's nothing wrong. We should spend money. This is the system that we live in. This is capitalism. But we shouldn't spend it to the point where we're getting overcharged when people are making billions and billions of dollars. Now, that's when you're getting overcharged. And that's the problem. That's the problem. America wasn't always like this, or maybe it was, but it was at such a different degree or level. I'm just raising my mental aptitude up to the point where I can see it and understand it more now. Because when you really think about it, back in the day when we was making 50 cents an hour, loaf of bread, 10 cents, 15 cents. Now you're making 11, 12, 15, $20 an hour. Loaf of bread now is 3, 5, 6, 7, $8 for loaf of bread. So things really haven't changed. Not really. Not for the not for the poor, not for and the middle class. Middle class is allowed to get more credit, pay more taxes. Then they complain. Uh, they put the middle class against the poor. Oh, the poor, you poor is paying for this and poor paying, y'all paying taxes for the poor and this and that. Then you get mad. You look at black people, you get mad. Oh, we supporting the blacks that's on welfare, this and that. But you got way more white people on welfare than black folks. A lot more. But you don't realize that. See, we have to learn. And not only that, for real, what do you think it is when you bailed out? We bailed out Bear Stearns. You bailed out Wall Street with over $800 billion. Welfare, welfare. Bank bail out these corporations. Welfare. You know what I mean? And when you see these Wall Street investors, CEOs getting 50, $100 million in bonuses, that money coming from somewhere. Somebody's getting overcharged. All these investors just sitting home making money, getting paid. Nothing wrong with investing, getting paid. You should get paid for your investment. But I'm just saying, let people live some. Don't sit back and rejoice on people starving. And all you have to do is just see to it. Make it mandatory that everybody gets a good education. You can sit here and talk about you want to pass bills that can tell a woman what to do with her body. Don't you pass a bill to make sure all children are educated properly? That wants to be educated, can get a good college degree, and make it so that if these kids are qualified, mentally qualified to go to Yale, Harvard, and Princeton, uh, the military academy, let them go. It ain't just for certain people. You gonna tell me certain people out here smarter than others? No, they're not. It's just that people have been uh, subjected or to a different level of intelligence, knowledge. That's all. That's all. And other people have been deprived. That's all. Do you think? Do you think slaves would have been brought over here to Africa to work these fields and to do the labor if they wasn't strong enough to do it? If their bodies wasn't strong enough to withstand the heat of the sun and to do the type of physical labor that they did? But if you deprive them, you just work them and deprive them of an education, deprive them of knowledge of self and anything. that they couldn't be anything other than that. That's what happened. Everything comes back to roots at some point. But now what's happening now is like what's going on now is scary. It's really, really scary because with the climate control, droughts, fires, overpopulation, shortage of drinking water, uh, and I often wonder too. I'm gonna tell you, I often wonder too. They short of drinking water, but I always look at all these buildings, all these apartment buildings, and all these people. All these buildings have bathrooms and showers. A lot of waste. Lot, lot. You know. Then we never talk about the uh, radioactive plants. We never talk about the waste. I don't know what they're doing with it, but right now they can do nothing with the water but store it somewhere. So all this stuff that's we're doing, there's repercussions from it. A lot of these repercussions are being kept hidden from us. But don't act like people that's in the know, the people that's doing all this stuff. Don't act like they don't know what the outcome is. They've already looked at it. They've been in the room and talked about it. No, you think Donald Trump uh, could have gotten where he did if he didn't see what position to play? He saw what was coming. He knew it. He knew what to do. He knew what strings to pull, and he did it. But what gets me is I just don't understand unless these people really see a revolution or something coming in this country. That's the only way I could understand these politicians that's going along with it. And the ones that's going along with it, when they decide not to accept Joe Biden as a legitimate president of the United States, to me, they should have stepped out. They should have stepped off their job. They should have closed the door and said, okay, I quit. How you gonna stay in it and don't accept it? Boggles my mind. Really boggles my mind. And at the end of the day, people, at the end of the day, it's about you, family, nice place to eat, sit home, enjoy your family, uh, have dinner and good conversation, and enjoy life and have your friends, like likewise friends, come over and you know and just have a nice, enjoyable life and doing things. But all this mess is going on today. I ain't seen nothing like you can't even go out. Where you going? 4th of July, people getting shot. You got uh, uh, crowds that's just running and trampling over one another from the gunshots, not knowing where the bullets are coming from. You know, snipers. I mean, what? Just think about this. You know, you got teenagers going to shopping centers, just shooting, killing, mass murdering people of color. what's going on? That's that's the name of this podcast today. What's going on? Gotta be something. It's too much happening. And all this stuff that's happening is based on the people that's in charge to be voted to run this country. They have sold the American people down the drain. They have turned the American people against them. And now, well, where are we? We're in the midst of inflation. We have a coronavirus that's coming on us more deadly than the first one. Okay. We have people you can't even go out your house. Uh, Gas prices is off the chart, and everybody wants to blame uh, Biden for gas prices. I heard somebody the other day how, oh, Joe Biden is selling oil to China. From what I hear, every president the bit before Biden sold oil to China. What's the big deal? Petroleum. Well, guess what? These oil companies is making record profits. It's been said on the news. They're making record profits because we are getting charged. Are we running out of oil? I think so. Could be. I don't see why not. But from what I'm hearing, is the fact that uh, the change in energy will come quicker than the the countries running out of oil. In other words, we have electric cars, solar energy, uh, electric trucks. So we're weeding away from oil and gasoline engines. So when we do that, then another problem is going to come because all these people that was attached to these jobs that dealt with gasoline engines or petroleum products, so to speak. I guess those they will still be here for a while, but it's going to be a major change. And then we're going to have to worry about the electric cars. Have to worry about the accidents. The batteries account for maybe 50% or more of the cost of the car. How about your insurance? Your insurance will not depend on you. Well, it would depend. Insurance would be twice as much because number one, it would be depend on the experience of the driver. And those batteries in those cars, from what I understand, if they're in an accident, them things can explode and burn for days, weeks. So, and then what is the effect living in a society of all batteries, all electric? I mean, what do these batteries give off? How will it affect the human body, the human mind, the cells of the body? Has all this been looked at? So, and on top of that, will we be here long enough based on the way this planet is going? Temperature, poles are melting, sea levels are rising. It's changing everything. This heat's changing everything. So, that was a civilization before us. Think about it. Humans are very, very destructive. You know, so Could it not be? Humans could very well be the coronavirus for the planet. Well, frankly speaking, it is because it's in us. But we could very well be, and we are because we are damaging the planet. I think the planet would be better off if humans wasn't even on it. For real. You know? So on that note, uh, I'm back periodically until next week. Then I want to get back to basics, uh, basic time schedule, uh, counseling solution concepts, take back control of your body and mind. It's uh, it's really taking root, getting a lot of feedback, doing a lot of counseling, one-on-one. But at the end of the day, we need people. I'm talking about just I'm talking about people, not color, just people. We need to get together. We need to. And I'm going to talk about it in my next meeting, my next podcast. And I have some things set up because in order for life and environment to change, we must change. No ifs, and buts about it. And we got to work together, and we can. And that's the good thing about it. Excuse me. It was what's so good about it is that people, when you start looking at people as people and just treating people differently, you know, it's such a wonderful feeling. And to build things together, do things together, laugh together, play together. You know, it's such a wonderful feeling. And for some reason, these people know this. The rich know this. And they keep us from doing that. We have to break that barrier. And it's okay. It's okay to walk past somebody and say, hello, how are you? How's your day? Have a good day. People walk right past you before you say a word. Matter of fact, sometimes people turn their heads, just keep them speaking. Like, I mean, hello. Well, that's their business. But anyway, uh, I'm back. This is Sunday. I did Sunday. Better to be Sunday. Better be late than no day and no time at all. So thank you all very, very much and have a wonderful day. And I will see you soon.